It's a pleasure to talk to you. How are you doing?
Great. It's great. There's some horses nearby. And
Yeah, we've been traveling a lot, as you know, and so it's kind of nice to land at the ranch and be around the nature and the animals, like Zach said, you know.
So, you just came to Brazil for the first time ever last month, opening for Red Hot Chili Peppers in 5 different cities. How was this experience for you?
it was single-handedly by far the best experience any of us have ever had, without a doubt. And there's no question about it.
It was fantastic. The whole tour was amazing, but we definitely had a deep fondness and love for Brazil and the passion of the people and their love for music.
I was at the São Paulo concert and I was very surprised about how much the audience loved you guys. At one point, everyone even stopped to shout out the band's name. And after the show, we could also hear conversations among the audience talking about how good the opening was. Did you imagine that Brazilians would like you so much?
I couldn't, we had hoped that it would feel something close to that, but never really in our dreams did we expect it to go that well, because it was such a surreal experience. We wanted that, but we didn't expect it. And when it happened, it was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. In my dream of it, it went that well, and somehow it lived up to the dream and the vision of it. Sao Paulo, I really love that show too. Like, I can't really pick any favorites, but that one I remember feeling really special.
It was sold out and everybody loved it. It was amazing. You had already opening for Chili Peppers years ago on the Getaway tour, right? Now, 6 years later now, and more than 10 years into your career, which is a huge amount of time and experiences. What difference did you feel on being the opening guest again?
Our band has transformed drastically since that last time we did that, and we've grown drastically as humans and as musicians. It was a great experience that last time, but I don't think we knew how to conduct ourselves on that kind of stage just yet, and our whole band just wasn't at the place to be able to have it connect the way that it did this time. And also coming down to South America was so special, and we've never played out of the country, so that was a really amazing thing.
The band has developed so much, especially in the last few years. And so it's funny because like people might see on paper that we've been a band for a long time, but in my mind, like I kind of define the band as really getting started and going in 2015. But even now though, after we've made this new album and we've just done this experience as this band, it's felt like everything has been building up to have the band be this now. And so it's so funny because it feels like really the beginning in a way.
Last month, you released the incredible album, Gel Part 1. How was the process of writing and creating this album?
It was very different. I mean, all of our records have had a different process, but this one in particular was a different thing. I personally decided to not hold back on letting my influences influence the music, where sometimes I'll, say I'm influenced by hip hop or something. I won't allow that into the band all the way because of interpersonal feelings or any plethora of reasons. But I just, we kind of just went all in on coming from the heart with this one. That's why this tour was such a perfect thing to have happen after putting out a record that we made that was so real to us and honest. But part 2 is going to even be better now because we have the perspective of that last tour to add to it.
We also recorded in some really cool places. We recorded in this really old mansion in Hollywood for a few months. It was Marlon Brando's old house, and it was just like it was 4 levels, and so we got to experiment with sounds and do all these crazy things that we wouldn't have been able to do recording anywhere else. So there's a bit of some magic of that in there as well.
Great.
We love big Led Zeppelin drum sounds, so we had the capacity in that house to set up the drums at the bottom of a stairwell and then put microphones all over the house. So any of the sounds you hear on the drum side that are really, really big and reverby, it's actually just the house sound echoing all throughout.
So talking about albums and being on tour, you guys have this very hectic routine. So where did you find time and inspiration to create new projects? Is there something or someone that helps you with this inspiration? Maybe something you do or something you listen to?
You mean on tour or just in general?
In general, but especially in this chaotic time.
Yeah, I mean, life is definitely the main inspiration, but just listening to all types of different music is always rocket fuel for creativity. Personally, there's things I love and I know I love that I can listen to whenever I want and will give me ideas, but listening to new things and different things definitely makes you want to express yourself.
And on that tour, our biggest inspiration was getting to watch the Red Hot Chili Peppers every night. That was like unreal, especially in your country where the people just love it so much like we do. There was this general sense of everyone loving rock music as much as we have since we were little kids that I think is why we connected so much with you guys. So getting to see that interaction between one of our favorite bands since we're all little kids and your audience was like, that's enough inspiration for a few years, I think, that alone.
Still talking about tours. If you were playing in Latin America as headliners, which artists would you invite to do an opening show?
I never thought about that.
I'll have to think about that because I'd like to listen to more. Like we got recommended a lot of great Brazilian artists to listen to. So I have this whole list. I'm going to start checking them out and listening, and then based off of that probably find some that we like. And then also if we were to do our own tour and bring bands from here, that's another question of like who we'd want to bring, and I'd have to think about that one too.
We always think about who would we open for.
Yeah,
so I could tell you that, but we got to start thinking about that other one though. I like
know,
that.
We won an Irontom show, so you had to think about that.
We're working on it.
We really want to. And I agree with Harry. It would be really cool to play with some Brazilian bands. I think we'd love to get in on your guys' music scene and, play with other bands that are like where we're at in your country.
We're working on coming back. We're talking to the people who help us make it happen. We're really trying to do it soon.
Yeah, know that we're mutually motivated to make it happen again. We really, basically, as soon as we got there, we're like, okay, we already like, how do we get back here? Because there's something growing with you guys that we really want to see through and, give you back the love you gave us.
And now a hard question. Which Irontom song would you recommend to someone who has never listened to the band before?
I'd say Con Artist. I think Con Artist encapsulates our spirit and a lot of our vibes in a really concise and potent way.
But it brings a lot of different elements that we've been imploring in our new music together into one song. Showcases kind of like what our newer sound is like and our heart and spirit has always sounded like in one thing.
We love Brazil. We love you all. We're going to come back and we can't wait to do our own shows and have a big party with all of you.
We love you.
Miss you.
We'll be there very soon for a very long time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Really appreciate you. Can't wait to come back. Super excited. Try to get some farofa.
And we're really excited for Edição Part 2 too.
Thank you. Mouse.
Mouse.
Mouse. Let's go.